Yo, welcome back to Evil Scuba Diver. Wuthering Heights is a movie featuring Jacob Elordi and Margot Robbie, LARPing romance. The movie's a romance. It comes out on Valentine's Day. Charli XCX is doing the soundtrack, and I'm here to talk about the soundtrack, really, because this thing kind of blew me away. I wasn't even really planning on making an original video, just kind of sitting down talking about it. Because really, when I saw that Charli XCX was doing the Wuthering Heights soundtrack, in my head, in the back of my head, I was sort of thinking to myself, okay, she's getting a bag. She got reached out to, and she had probably a decent idea enough, and she'll drop like a mini filler album, Black Panther album, right? However, I will say though, the Wuthering Heights album by Charli XCX did absolutely completely surprise me. This thing is not your Black Panther album where it's just kind of a filler drop that sort of paves the way for the movie. It's like the red carpet. No man, this is Charli XCX going on an artistic evolution. All of these instrumentals, everything in this thing, it's different, it's creative, it's weird, it's wild, it is Baroque pop. It's Charli XCX going full Baroque pop. She's using all of the knowledge in her previous albums that she has culminated, and she is full force sort of blending them into this weird Baroque, sensual, sexual world of Wuthering Heights. Everything she's made in the past, like Brat, like Crash, like Charli, the self-title, like everything is technological. Everything has to a certain extent been like an expanded version of pop music, but now I feel like she's reached it with Brat where she has found her expanded version of pop music. She knows exactly what she's doing, and she can sort of mess around with it now, and that's what I'm getting with Wuthering Heights. This album's 30 minutes. It's not something that overstays its welcome. It's not even really something you'd think would make a welcome, right? Like original soundtrack, you know, whatever, Charli XCX getting a bag. But no, this thing does make an impression. The first song of the album is industrial noise spoken word core. These giant synth walls come out of nowhere, not like anything you'd hear on a commercial Charli XCX record, and they absolutely portray this harrowing scene of being caught in a trap of love. You cannot escape it. You are a slave to it. That's the dread, but also the comfort of the situation. Wild, confusing vibes here. That's at least what I'm getting. This doesn't sound like anything Charli XCX has ever ventured into. It's way more experiential. It's way more minimalistic. There's a lot of songs on here that have like no drums. It's a good 808. It's a good vocal chain, and it is just some rich strings that have like very orchestral ways of swaying. It's beautiful stuff. It reminds me of Yeezus in all honesty, the simplicity, just like the obviousness of using only a couple elements to make your songs possible. Like Wuthering Heights, it's the strings, it's the 808, it's the Charli vocal chain. Yeezus, it's the aggression, the technological bleeps and bloops, the synths being angry, right? Very simple elements, but they're all gamed exclusively for each of the simple elements to be the most elevated it can be. An album like Yeezus is really giving you an experience to remember, and I feel like Wuthering Heights is getting at the same thing here, but instead of like insane technological arps and stuff like that, you're getting strings with the Charli vocal chain. It contrasts so well. It contrasts so well. These like minimalistic 808s and her vocal chain, it's still in her world. There's even like pieces of micro percussion that sounds like something off like Vespertine by Björk, where you just have like little technological blips and bloops. Percussion that sounds like tick tock tick tock ticks and static pops. Nothing insane or industrial or taking you out of the world of Wuthering Heights. You know, this sort of brown scaled sepia tone, horses in the shed, whatever, corn for breakfast, oatmeal at night. It's all very farmland, candlelit, rolling hills, and the soundtrack itself, while it has these technological bits, like it doesn't really overindulge in them too much to where it takes away from that original core. Like the strings are a big portion of this soundtrack. But even saying soundtrack sounds wrong. It feels like an album. This feels like an album from Charli XCX. That's really what I want to get at here. This soundtrack feels like an album because it takes so much experimentation and so much risk that I got the thrill out of it that I would from a regular Charli XCX album. Like the songs where she wants to give you a good hook, she's giving you a good hook. There's just experimentation on top of this that is only given to her from the fact that it is like an original soundtrack. I feel like she wouldn't have gone this hard if her name was really, really attached to it. You know what I mean? If it was like a full solo project, if that makes any sense. I feel like the fact this album is tied to a movie, and this is essentially her acting as like a creative pawn for somebody else to a certain extent, rather than being her own monolithic, structure, it allowed her to be way more experiential and experimental with how she wanted to present her ideas in this thing, because it's just a soundtrack, right? So you can risk stuff, you can have fun stuff like, a 3-minute insane jaw-dropping noise like intro, or it's literally something you hear like a Merzbow record or something, like a satirical amount amount of noise that's not even really music. She can do that because this is an original soundtrack. This is not holistically a Charli album that's, you know, marking her progression as an artist. But in that, she is marking her progression as an artist because this thing is creative and experimental in the ways that you'd expect a really like minimalistic, crazy album to be. This is kind of a really mind-blowing album in that way. It wasn't made to be an album, but it feels like something that could fit into her discography so holistically as like the string album, the orchestra album. And you know, I need to give this album its flowers, man. There wasn't really a lot of hype going into this thing. People thought going into it, including me, it was just going to be like sort of a companion piece for the movie. And it is that, like that's the spirit it was created out of at the end of the day, but it's so much more than that. It's so complex. It really does feel like an evolution of Charli XCX. And the over-maximalized vocal chain of Charli compared with the very minimalistic sort of, you know, compositional pieces of these beautiful strings swaying. I mean, it's contrast that's very intriguing. Very, very intriguing. Like auto-tuned Charli XCX vocals over beautiful strings. I mean, it reminds me of Björk so much. I've been listening to a lot of Homogenic. I've been listening to a lot of Vespertine. I have become very acquainted with how the strings glide over those albums and how Björk's voice works with the intense orchestration. But Charli's tapping into a similar bag too here. I need to give her flowers. She is making me think of her as like a Björk type artist, which I didn't really think of her before. I always thought she was kind of like, you know, experimental pop, right? Like she understands pop music structure and she's going to take it to 11 when she wants to because she's Charli. She's working from like that Charli core. I'm the brat. I can give you guys an experience that sounds like pop music 100%, like it is pop music, but it's to 11. To an extent, her style has been taking like a Black Eyed Peas song and running it through just an insano filter of like aggressive feminine dominance. And then you get a song like Apple, or you get a song like Sympathy is a Knife. You know, throw some A.G. Cook and like geometry dash level core in there, but for the most part, that's what you're getting with the Venn diagram of Charli's sound. And that's what we got for Brat, and that's what we got used to, and I was used to that for more. If Charli XCX wants to keep doing that, keep doing that. What I was not expecting was something so cohesively experimental and interesting in this Baroque string lens. I was not expecting the care and attention to be put into the vocals and into the verses and melodies like I was on this thing. I was not expecting it to be so cohesively in tune with each other for all 30 minutes of the thing. I wasn't expecting it to be so cohesive. I wasn't expecting it to be like the, I mean, it really does feel like a 30-minute album that doesn't overstay its welcome, says hello, hi, and then that's it. You know, I knew Charli, I knew Brat, everybody listened to Brat, but yet that's not the whole picture of Charli. That's one moment in her discography, right? It's like, you know, I can't just judge Björk off a Homogenic or something like that, but you can judge a trend. You can judge what a trend is setting. And the trend that Charli is setting is consistently innovating within her brand. Like, this soundtrack is good, but more than anything, it showed me that Charli XCX is somebody to watch as like an auteur, like a Paul Thomas Anderson mind, but with her own style. You know, like a Björk, like a Kanye, to a Timothée Chalamet to a certain extent. The way Timothée Chalamet has been talking about movies on his Oscar run makes me feel like he has a grander vision of himself than just actor. He seems like he wants to present himself more as like a walking performance piece of a person who is just there to show people that you can be monolithic in whatever, you know, study you're applying yourself into. And I'm down for this. It seems like it's going to be the year of the people who dare, you know, the year of the people who really go out there and say, yeah, I'm this person. I'm Marty Supreme. I'm Charli XCX. Watch me do this. And just consistently innovating the whole time. You know what I mean? This album's very innovative, in my opinion. I really do appreciate this thing. Like, it stands in her discography as her most experimental. Like, I know this isn't a studio album, but if it was a studio album, it would stand as the most experimental, adventurous, most interesting in her catalog because it is just so different. It is so wild. So many creative risks, ideas in this thing. So simple with the way the production is being presented, but all the presentation is done with the bow. It's simple, but it's with a bow. Oh my god, the bow adds so much. And I probably won't see the movie. It doesn't exactly look like my demographic. If anybody wants to see the movie with me, put it in the comments below. Maybe we can possibly make something happen. But I just want to come on here and talk about that. This album was great. I'm digging what Charli XCX is doing. Hopefully you enjoyed the B-roll in the background. Working on a Minecraft empire at the moment. Might have to keep it going for the videos. So that's about it. Small yap. Flowers given. I'm a walking gardener. That's what we do here. And stop recording button hit now.